どうも、河野和夫でございます。バニッシャーズ、続きプレイしていきたいと思います。ということで、いよいよ、あれですね、要は、ニューエデンの呪いに関する人たちをどんどん粛清してってですね、ナイトメアの影響をね、弱くしてからのこのニューエデンタウンに、この空虚の道を使ってね、シーカーが使ってた。いよいよ乗り込むと。終わりなのかな。とりあえず行ってみましょうかね。空虚への旅。
How come it's not working?
Let's ask Seeker. This all has to end, and I'd rather it was sooner than later.
うまくいかなかったん
I'm
かい。
doing my best, my love.
There's a spectral web here, but it's new. It's stronger, but I think I can do it.
Oh, is he there?
This'll only take a moment.
これが新たに身につけた能力ね。
See?
Well, throwing my weapons through your will is a little unsettling.
レッドの武器にアンテアの持つ霊能力をチャネリングして使うことができるようになりました。これよりアンテアはより強力な、はいはい。A を押してネバネバするレイモンを破壊し、道を切り開きましょう。ここか？
Where are you? You wee wench.
デボラからの手紙。愛するグレース。この手紙を受け取った頃、あなたが健康で幸せに暮らしていることを願っているわ。だけど正直に言うと、あなたが健康だと言ってくれても、私は疑うでしょう。私もバカじゃないのよ。あなたが間違ったことをしていることも、あなたのお父さんが懸念を抱いていることも知っているわ。私はあなたの家族の問題に口を突っ込むべきではないけど、若い女性には家族以外の人に助けてもらうことが大切なこともあるわ。この手紙に鍵と地図を同封しました。これを使えばこの場所を見つけられるでしょう。ちゃんとわかるようにしたからね。あなたは一人じゃないわ。忘れないで。私はあなたの味方よ。キャサリン・ニュースミスも頼りにできるわ。彼女は信頼できる友達だから、私から頼めばきっとあなたが家を出る準備を助けてくれるはずよ。信頼できるあなたの先生。デボラ。グレースってのはシーカーのことかな。そのキャサリン・ニュースミスってあれだよね。厚側だよね。
Why is there a letter from Deborah Comenius here?
And who's Grace?
シ
No way back to
ー
New
カ
Eden
ーだ
Town,
ろ
and no Seeker either. Our only clue points to Kate Newsmith. Maybe she knows this Grace and where to find her.
う。なるほど。シーカーが描いた絵。科学的見地から様々な植物が詳細に書かれている。
She draws well.
Well, can we draw this to a close? We need to talk to Kate.
Still a roaming, are we?
Aye, still asking questions. I'm trying to track someone down, and I was hoping you could help me.
I'm busy. Find them yourself.
I'm not asking you to do anything. I just need information. I may have some to share in return. So, I found your name in an old letter. It was addressed to someone by the name of Grace. It was written by Deborah Comenius.
You just can't leave a scab unpicked, can you? Especially if it's not your own.
Deborah wrote of a cabin in the woods. Could this Grace person have found it?
I don't know. It was all a very long time ago. I had forgotten her.
Did Grace ask you for help?
No. Grace
グレース・ペ
Pennington
ニント
vanished.
ン。
No one ever saw her again.
Grace Pennington? As in Captain Saul Pennington?
ペニントンの娘がいたの？
Pennington had a daughter, and you knew her.
I knew her, but not well. Deborah had her in the school and spoke of her from time to time. Shy as a porcupine and twice as prickly, as I recall.
Deborah wrote the letter in February 1688. When did Grace disappear?
Months later, Pennington accused Deborah of being a witch.
なるほどね。
That moment overshadows all
なる
of
ほ
us.
ど。グレースはどんな人だった？
What did Grace look like?
I remember her thin and boyish, encumbered by dresses she hated to wear.
That
シーカーなんだ。はあ。
Does the name Seeker
だからやっぱ
mean
ペニ
anything to you?
It sounds less a
シ
name
リ
than
リア
a
ンが最後
calling,
死ぬ時出て
but
きた
neither
幽
mean
霊っ
anything to
て
me. We
ペニン
don't.
トンっぽかったもんね。
One more question. Did the school teacher keep a cabin in the woods?
Deborah spent much time walking the woods, trying to understand New Eden, she said. Now that you mention it, I remember a snowstorm. She spent 3 days in a hut not far from here. Southeast, across the drawbridge, along the path towards the mine. If it's still there.
なるほどね。
Farewell, Kate Newsmith.
A goodbye to you too, Red McWraith. And whatever it is you seek, may you find it.
なるほどねと。ヘレン。ヘレンって誰だっけ？
just our luck that when we need Seeker the most, she disappears.
I still don't understand why the ritual failed.
Let's just find the hut.
ヘレンってあいつか。ポートイエリコにちょいちょい薬もらうついでに行こうぜ。なるほど。ペニントンの娘なのね、シーカーは。で、家飛び出したくてみたいな。したら学校の先生だったデボラが助けてくれたんだ。それに伴って、俺の娘どうしてくれてんねんと。魔女だろみたいな感じで、そっから因縁が始まったのね。おもろなのよ。エレンさん。
Banishers.
Good day. You look well, Mrs. Priest.
We struggle on. But yes, I feel better.
グレースについて。
What can you tell me about a young woman by the name of Grace?
It seems you already know some of the story. It was a long time ago, but I'll do my best to fill in the gaps.
彼女に何があったの？
What happened to her? As I heard it told, one day Grace just wasn't there anymore.
親子の関係はどうだった？
How was their relationship? I believe it was stormy, as you'd expect between a commander and his disobedient daughter. I do think he loved her, but as far as anyone ever saw, he never shed a single tear for her.
Later, after he exiled her, did the captain try to find his daughter?
Not to my knowledge. He did not set off in search of her, nor did he send men. At the time, I thought it strange. Still do. I'll never understand how a man could reject his only daughter. And that, my inquisitive Banisher friends, is all I know about the matter.
Take care.
I will. No one else seems to want to.
This can't be a coincidence. Could Grace be Seeker? Dusty. Seeker hasn't been here for a long time.
Anyone home?
文字に起こされた見せかけの儀式、殴り書きされた文章、また影の偉大な部分を魔術の中にのみあるのではない。また影の偉大な部分を魔術の中にのみ あるのではない。魔術を超越した世界にも見受けられる。今はまだ思いもよらぬ力であるが、このおかげで暗闇は我々の味方となり、我々を支えて守る防具として機能する。これより魔術の心得がないものを完全に騙せる。我を覆う暗闇を、我の幻影を光から守りたまえ、人々の五感を騙し、敵の目をくらまして、我が代替現実っていうのかなの幕に隠れて生きられるようにせよ。シーカーによる注釈。もうすぐで儀式を執り行いそうだ。見せかけの儀式はまだ完全ではないけど、自分のやり方で完璧にできると思う。悪魔学に書いてあるのも当然の儀式よ。悪魔学者はいつも心が狭すぎるから、視野を広げられないから。でもこれを元にすれば完璧な幻影魔術を作れる。多分彼に俺を言うべきね。彼は暴言を犯してこの儀式を書き写してくれたのだから。もし私たちの道がまた交わることがあるならかな。一番新しい友人に感謝しよう。これラミーのことかな、これ。
More demonology. Unusual for a witch. These two schools of magic don't usually see eye to eye. Perhaps Lamy could help us with the spell.
なんだっけ、
Never knew about this place.
ラミーとさ、なんか
Focus on the matter at hand, Red.
やりとりして、じゃあルネだっけ、ルレだっけ。
Fine wardrobe for a youngster.
They're rags.
And they won't help us find her. Aye.
手紙の倉庫。コメニウス先生、決してデボラさん。この手紙が届く頃、先生のおかげで私は自分らしく。この手紙が届く頃、先生が安全で健康でいらっしゃることを願っています。確かに小屋を見つけました。でもそこにはいられません。少なくとも今は私も自分らしくいられるし、自分が好きなことは全て勉強できています。どうして人は魔術を恐れるのでしょうか。魔術は素晴らしいものだと思いませんか。私はもっと安全な場所を見つけました。そこに隠れます。そこなら安全に勉強を続けられるし、他の人にも見つかりません。先生のおかげで私はやっとあの男と彼の支配欲から離れて自由に生きられます。あの人は一度たりとも父親らしいことをしてくれませんでした。あの人は暴君として采配を取り、自分と意見を違える人の居場所を与えませんでした。だから私のこととも決して私のことも決して理解しようとしてくれなかったのです。でももうこういったことすべては過去のものです。今は新しい人生が私を待ち受けています。私はあの人の娘ではなくなります。そうすることであの人も私も自由になれるのです。助けてくださりありがとうございました。また会えることを願っています。あなたの生徒グレース・ペニントン。なるほど。
Quite the fall from grace.
That's not funny, and neither is this.
Aye. Fair enough.
Seeker drew this. Now we know she's in the mountains. There's a ritual of dissimulation, and we need the catalyst. The circle powers the door, but I don't know the symbol. I don't know it, but I think Lamy might. We did well to come here. Now we know where she's hiding. Soon we'll be able to use the pond. All we need is the key to the dissimulation spell, and Lamy Haskell will help us with that.
Aye, sure.
Well, ho there. What a pleasant surprise. I was fair and sure that I'd never see you again.
Where are you off to?
Far away, God willing. Build bridges, say the wise, that people may better understand each other. Build a jetty, say I, so that a ship may come and we can leave. New Eden is a fascinating study for you and I. But for ordinary folk, it is, as I've heard it put, a shite hole.
Leaving sounds right to me, if these people learn from their mistakes.
They repent, Mistress Duarte. A new start elsewhere, away from the place in which they sinned, will do them good.
Spoken like a leader.
I fear, however, that not everyone shall listen. I fear what shall befall them if they stay behind.
このページに見覚えはな
I
いか
found a page ripped from a book. Here, do you recognize it?
Let me see. Is this from the Trismegistus riddles? Yes, it seems to be. Why would you bring me one mildewed page from an amusing but harmless little book?
Why would you fail to disclose that you'd given another ritual to another friend?
It was a long time ago. I said after Caleb I'd distribute no more rituals, and that's what I've done. Not done.
We know. But we're looking for Grace Pennington now, and we were hoping you'd help us find her.
Who?
Really, boy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mistress Antea. You said Grace's name, and it is my reflex to protect her.
Ever heard
シー
of
カーという
someone
名前の
named
人聞いた
Seeker?
ことある？
Seeker? No. Sounds like a title, like my true pursuer. This Seeker. Is she Grace? Is she alive? Do you know where she is?
We think she's Grace. We hope she's still alive. We're trying to find her.
We think she's hidden herself away behind your dissimulation spell.
Then you'll need to unravel it. Shouldn't be too difficult once you're armed with the salient facts.
最後にグレースに会ったのはいつ？
When was the last time you saw Grace Pennington?
It had to be a few days after I brought her the cloaking ritual. When I returned to visit, the hut had disappeared. Which makes sense now that I think of it.
That's it? You never again tried to find your best friend, your only friend.
Well, you see, some weeks later, the first whispers of witchcraft started to fly about town. I kept my head down, and Grace was better off out of it. I was right. And I'm glad she escaped. Strange to think of her again after so long.
その儀式はどういう仕組みなの？
How does the ritual work?
It creates illusions so effective that they deceive even the keenest eye. There are more effective cloaking spells, but the Trismegistus riddles do have a simple elegance.
The short version, please, ending with how we break it.
Yes, of course. To achieve that, all you need is the caster's full name and the symbol used to make fast the illusion.
Grace Pennington and a triangle pointing downwards.
Well then, now all you need is a simple counterspell from the same book and... Oh my.
おい、
What now?
忘れたのかお前。
I'm afraid I left my copy in the Araloo.
あるあるに置いてきたなって。
In the void.
That's just great. Just great.
Yes, but in my defense, once you've retrieved the book, dispelling Grace's illusion will be like a walk in the park. Comparatively speaking.
Thank you for your help.
Could you tell Grace that...
Once we find...
これか。トリスメギトスの謎、下向きの三角の記号。この記号は均衡、質素さ、堅実さを意味する。悪魔学者はあまりこれを使用しないが、自身のことを科学者と呼ぶ魔女に好まれているのだろう。主に幻覚を見せるために使われるが、人間の根本的な感覚を騙す術を施すためにも使われる。この術を解くために、術の源に集中し、術をかけた人の代理として術を解くよう命令を出すこと。その術により何が無効になるか、術を解くことでどのような意味がなくなるのかも明確にする必要がある。
Got it. That seemed a little too easy.
We have the symbol we need. Let's go back to the mountain and find her hiding place. This is it. Seeker is behind this wall. Let the veil of unknowing be lifted. Let us see through the eyes of Grace Pennington.
カー。どうしたのシーカーちゃん。さあ、いた。あの魔女の仮面。
Ceridian?
You're surprisingly slow, even for a banisher. You're late. Or early.
At last we find you.
Missed me that much, did you? You could have hurried. You always think you have more time, and suddenly you don't.
It wasn't in vain. We have come far and learned much.
I hope so. But don't think you have it all figured out. You're still banishers, after all.
We are indeed. Grace.
So, you know.
デボラを知っていたんだな。
When I asked if you'd known Deborah Comenius, you denied it. Why?
Seeker never met Deborah. Grace did. I am no longer Grace, and I don't like to speak for her. Deborah was Grace's teacher. She encouraged her to be herself, to become who I am now. They did not know one another, but without Deborah, I'd have never met Ceridian. And with Ceridian, my entire life changed. Deborah suffered terribly, and the fate she met was exactly the fate I fled. I accept it now. I accept it all. Ceridian has left a hollow, and I am called to fill it. I accept. I am ready for my role in this world. Are you ready for yours?
How どうしてミーヤ出張出て行った？
We looked for you everywhere. Why did you leave the Maya marshes?
I needed time, silence, my own space.
Hidden away behind Lammy Haskell's dissimulation spell.
Oh, you know about that. It held a full 7 years. Isn't that impressive? This is the place where I embrace solitude. This is where I made it a strength.
シリリアンをここであなたは見つけたの？
Did Ceridian find you here?
Not physically. I dreamed of her. I dreamed of the Maya marshes. So, I went there. And I found the island.
Quite the thing. Meet your dream in person.
I suppose so. At the time, I was more focused on the fun I'd had getting to the island.
Also,
Our first dance. I admit I ran away. But we have danced many times since then. Old Mosshead, Ceridian and me.
You learned magic by yourself.
Not really. Not at all. First, Lammy Haskell's forbidden books told me that magic was real. They say you must look out for the quiet kids. And that was me and Lammy. Reading those books opened my eyes to worlds of wonder. But I did not learn witchcraft until Ceridian found me. Lammy showed me the view from the prison window, but my mistress walked me right out the door.
あなたにとってシリリアンは真の師匠だったの？
Then Ceridian was your true mentor.
I was an angry girl with dreams of freedom and a bundle of mouldy parchments, of which I understood almost nothing. She taught me patience. She tried to teach me serenity. I learned to stick to real witchcraft and leave the magic tricks to more feeble minds. No offense.
none taken. Rather proud of my feeble mind.
ニューエデンタウンに戻らねばならない。
The time has come for us to go back to New Eden and face the nightmare.
Yes. Balance must be restored. You must face your fate and end the curse.
Ceridian said the only way back was through the void. But the pond seems broken. We need your help.
Of course you do.
We're listening.
Remember Ceridian's words. If you were to defeat the nightmare, your hearts must be open to each other. No barriers. Your bond must be strong.
We've never been stronger.
This void breach is not like the others. This one leaks. This one sits at the rotten core of the entire region. You must leave whatever still burns in your hearts at the threshold. If you don't, the void will kill you.
Do you know where in New Eden Town the void shall lead us?
The trick is to focus on your happiest memories and let them take you there. At least that's how it's always worked for me.
We'll try.
And when at last you succeed, I too shall return to New Eden Town. I shall see you there.
商品を見せてくれ、商品をよ。さよなら。
And with that, we'll take our leave.
Bring peace to this troubled land and your troubled hearts, my friends. I know it's not easy to hear, especially when it's me saying it.
On the contrary.
Thank you, Seeker. We'll do our best.
はい、というわけで、今回はここまでとさせていただきます。また続きプレイしていきますので、皆様よろしかったらチャンネル登録と高評価よろしくお願いいたします。ということで、今回は以上でございます。ありがとうございました。